Thank you for visiting the CoinSeries channel again. Request from viewer is, who is your favorite CEO and who is the best coin for you? You can also comment your opinion. Thank you to all the subscribers of our CoinSeries. Who came to our channel CoinSeries? You will always be info with the latest CoinSeries news. Number 1, CEO Brad Garlinghouse XRP and Ripple. Number 2, CEO Grayscale SEC. Number 3, CEO JP Morgan Bitcoin. Number 4, CEO Brian Armstrong Coinbase. Please like my video and subscribe my channel. The legal dispute between the SEC and Coinbase was the subject of a 5-hour session. Also, this was about the possibility of the total lawsuit being dismissed. I can't say with certainty whether it will or will not take place, but I can tell you what many lawyers think, including Jeremy Hogan. I'll tell you what his most recent legal opinion is on this matter. I will say this with a hint of spoiler, the SEC is completely fooling themselves. It was refreshing to observe the judge today, he or she is clearly not happy. It appears like that. So, it's amusing all over again. If you went back a year, you'd see Kim Jong-un constantly boasting when he was on national television. We'll look at the SEC record, there's a reason it's perfect. Actually, all the rules are crystal obvious. Therefore, it stands to reason that we will prevail when we sue XYZ Corporation. Long ago, that happened. Because of all the lawsuits that have come out of it recently, from the SEC versus Ripple case to the Grayscale lawsuit, the SEC has had a terrible year, and you won't hear him mentioning that anymore. Including, but not limited to, the language used in the SEC v. Coinbase case last year. Litigation, which is the subject of our investigation here. It's refreshing to see that judges from all corners are not buying into the SEC's bullshit. The events surrounding the SEC v. Ripple case, in my opinion, essentially established the standard. I should preface this by saying that I come from absolutely no financial background. You shouldn't invest based on what I say, and I'm not giving financial advice either. It's just for fun. I'm just an enthusiast that loves to make films on YouTube about cryptocurrency. Alright, the headline from Cointelegraph is here. Terra for Labs and Howie is argued for by Coinbase. U.S. District Judge Catherine Polk-Fila has heard arguments from Coinbase and the Securities and Exchange Commission in their respective 5-day SEC face-offs. The exchanges are attempting to have the regulator's June 2022 lawsuit dismissed. Therefore, everyone, I must confess that I am unsure of the most probable outcome here. This is merely a YouTube character, I do not practice law. It is plausible, though, that Judge Filer may simply throw out the whole thing, according to what I've gathered from hearing the opinions of several crypto attorneys. For Coinbase, that would be a huge victory. I got it, maybe it will stay in the trash. Even if it doesn't work perfectly everywhere, it will still be a catastrophe in the end. Overall, though, I still think Coinbase will have a very bad time of it because they have a history of being in the wrong. We kindly request that it proceed. The nearly 5-hour session covered the major points raised in court cases involving cryptocurrency assets and the SEC's role in overseeing the sector. During the hearing, Judge Fila questioned the SEC attorneys about the regulator's case against the crypto exchange, stating that the case was very wide, and asked them to explain why a digital token issuance would meet the Howey test. There is a value proposition to purchasing tokens, according to the SEC's perspective, as token buyers are also investing in the network or ecosystem that supports them. Judge Fila spent time discussing recent court rulings involving crypto firms like Terraform, Lance and Ripple, as well as the definition of staking and secondary market transactions. Coinbase attorneys, on the other hand, disputed the arguments, arguing that Bitcoin, which was characterized as a commodity by an SEC attorney during the hearing, also has a community and a network. So, have a look at this. I'd want to share my opinion with you. Let's begin with this. This is a statement made by John Dean, an attorney. He relayed the viewpoint of attorney James Murphy, who goes by the name Meta Lawman on the social media site X. I will tell you what Murphy had to say shortly. First, I want to make it clear that attorney Deaton relayed attorney Murphy's words and jotted down the following. Excellent synopsis. All of the pleadings, including the amicus briefs, are familiar to Judge Fila, who is treating this matter with the utmost seriousness. Unlike other judges, she is refusing to simply deny this move to dismiss. The breadth of the SEC idea is an issue that truly worries her. How comprehensive a theory it is, too. This isn't your run-of-the-mill dismissal, as I mentioned before. As for Murphy's thoughts on the matter of SEC versus Coinbase, they are detailed here. In a surprising turn of events, the judge skipped over the parties' prepared arguments and got right to the point of interrogating their attorneys. For the first 2 hours, the lawyers for SEC were the only ones interrogated. The SEC attorneys had improved their preparation since the first pre-motion conference, which took place months earlier. Beginning with staking, the inquiries moved on to his crypto applications, and finally to the major questions philosophically. The judge has a keen eye for detail and asked extremely specific questions that she had thought about beforehand. The judge stated that she was still considering all of the arguments and had not made a final decision. In his rulings, the court often cited the Coinbase amicus filings. According to her, it is crucial that Senator Loomis has submitted a brief stating that the matters at hand, such as the classification of crypto assets and the ultimate regulatory authority over Coinbase, require a decision from Congress. The court is currently interrogating his attorneys. I anticipate that they will be here for at least a couple more hours. So, I'll just say it, I think the judge is being really fair. The SEC's attorney Assad believed they could get away with this ridiculous bullshit, and I don't think she's putting up with it. People were practically live tweeting this stuff, so I got a number of quotes from that. I guess it's in this one. This was just another instance when the public had the option to listen to the hearing by calling in, similar to the SEC versus Ripple case. As a result, several people were reporting events as they happened. Reporter Eleanor Turrott of Fox Business included this in her post. What follows is what she jotted down on X. I have no intention of live tweeting every word of the SEC v Coinbase hearing. On the other hand, Judge Fila starts off strong. She claims that the chief lawyer for the SEC and I, paraphrasing, the DeFi people, provided a quote in the amicus brief that explains staking and the wall's purpose possibly better. In comparison to the Commission's briefing, that quote is probably more accurate. According to the amicus brief, the persons who worked there performed a better job than the SEC when it came to the SEC spaces. Very much so. She continues by saying that the SEC hasn't provided an alternative storyline for the legal basis of how he in its briefing, and that this is to conclude her post. Yeah. That much is already known to us. We recently witnessed what happened in SEC versus Ripple, which was not good for the SEC. So, let's see how things unfold here, shall we? The arguments that the SEC has made thus far in various cases about how we tend to not go over very well. Our current situation is untenable, and it's possible that we won't even need to salvage this. And we should find out about that in the next 2 weeks at the latest. Additionally, there was this article by Fox, a business writer, owner of TERT, and another SEC lawyer who works with exchanges. It said, these 12 or 13 tokens are computer code. People are considering this. Because, once again, the SEC has targeted numerous coins in this litigation, and they perceive the tactic as nothing more than a bottleneck in the exchanges. Furthermore, you lack the means to engage the more than 20,000 coin teams that exist due to your inability to feed. So, you present the asset attorneys with a list of problematic coins transacted on this platform, along with any BS explanations they may come up with. In response, the SEC attorney reiterated that the 12 or 13 tokens in question are, in fact, computer code. Well, I thought, we'll just interrupt, since she said, sorry, and I filed the corresponding paperwork. I mean, isn't that exactly what your Coinbase referring friends at the back table are saying when they ask what we're up to here? The whole point of being here seems pointless if it's merely code and those fears. Even if I won't make a dire forecast about whether or not this item gets tossed out, that's why I'm saying it, folks. It is possible that the judge is expressing the same thing, then why are we even here? How come this is going forward? Is that so? According to the SEC lawyer, yes, Your Honor, was the next thing stated. And I'll get to my point, that a token is not a security, in a moment. Judge Rakoff sided with the SEC lawyers in the Terra case, and he ruled that the token's ecosystem is what makes it a security. The judge's file also just cited Bill Hinman in support of this position. Someone from your store who is no longer there quoted Mr. Hinman. Sure thing. Sure thing. Eleanor Turret has added one more post to her collection. Judge Fila is requesting that Coinbase lawyer explain the reasoning behind the Terraform and Ripple decisions, which deal with investment contracts on the primary and secondary markets. She wants to know what aspects of these rulings can shed light on Coinbase's position. The lawyer's main point was that, although the two cases are very different, Terra's a Taurus, for example, the courts ultimately determined that a security must have an actual underlying contract or agreement between two parties in order to be considered a security. Yeah. Consequently, all subsequent lawsuit activity in the cryptocurrency sector can be traced back to the SEC v. Ripple case. Without a doubt. We can't stress enough how huge of an impact it has had, not only on the whole space, but on all of us XRP holders specifically. For all the reasons I've already mentioned, XRP is my preferred cryptocurrency. I made that clear multiple times during that dispute. I have a personal investment in it, and I am biased. I have around 30 different cryptocurrencies, so if this one doesn't work out, I'm concerned about what will happen to the rest of my assets. I was concerned about their attempts to seize not only XRP, which was certainly a focal point, but also all of my potential opportunities for immense wealth in the cryptocurrency market. Jeremy Hogan, an attorney, provides this, and you include a photo of Judge Violet. Nobody knows what Judge Philo will do about the CoinGrounds dismissal motion, not even I. I am relieved, though, that she has a firm grasp of both the technical details and the legal considerations. That makes Coinbase look reasonable. In the grand scheme of things, it's all that matters. However, for the sake of argument, I'm going to speculate that she will dismiss part of the lawsuit, namely, the staking allegations, because they have always been ridiculous to me, and that Coinbase will be able to proceed with discovery on the other matters. So there you have it, it appears that they believe the case will likely proceed. Perhaps not everything even tries, for example, this staking part is so blatantly foolish that it might not even be considered. In a subsequent article, he mentioned that we should expect to learn the fate of the situation about the actual dismissal within the next 2 weeks. As a result, we ought to have the answer soon. A simple dismissal of the whole affair would be perfect for me. But we'll have to wait and watch. This post from an XRP colleague follows. Michaelia, a YouTuber, claimed that the judge is confused since the SEC claims to be on a sinking ship. I find it to be a reasonable assessment, and I think she's kind of right. Bill Morgan, an attorney, published the post and speculated that the judge may be perplexed by the SEC's lawyer's admission in her court that tokens are not securities, while the SEC chairman insists that the vast majority of tokens are securities. There is a lack of clarity within the SEC. I understand. That seemed like such a crucial topic to me. You can see Kim Jong-un's expressionless face all over national television as he claims that the tokens are securities in and of themselves. Meanwhile, these dweeb lawyers are arguing in court that, yeah, it's just computer code. Wow. My goodness, theoretically, nothing happens. This post by attorney Bill Morgan is another option. The fact that tokens are not securities is now widely acknowledged. Speculation circulated after the SEC's summary judgment that Judge Torres's ruling that XRP is not a security was just the beginning. Nonetheless, the ruling appears to have had far-reaching implications, including on the SEC's position. The crypto community is indebted to John Deaton, the Ripple legal team, and Ripple itself for everything they did in the SEC versus Ripple case. Oh, I see. I see now. Have they learned anything from their devastating loss in the Ripple lawsuit? If so, would they be stating the same things in this case? Questionable. In the context of the cryptocurrency asset class it represents, John Deaton's representation of 75,000 XRP holders is, to put it mildly, revolutionary. The SEC v. Ripple case is the biggest, most important, consequential non-fraud case that has come up in decades, and I can't even begin to describe how big of a deal that is. Seriously, it was that massive. And it's never happened before. XRP holders wanted to be named as defendants in a lawsuit so they could challenge the assets in question at the SEC. It's absolutely mind-blowing. None of this has ever occurred previously. Uninterrupted screams from 75,000 individuals. You're doing great. I am astounded. Indeed, it has made a difference in this area. Furthermore, it has a positive effect on the SEC in comparison to Coinbase case. Meanwhile, we'll observe the outcome of this. Everything is going to go bad for the SEC, in my opinion. Those people are horrible beasts who have chosen to ignore the lessons of history. You shouldn't put your money where your mouth is because of anything I say. I'm no financial counselor. And as always, if you enjoy it, subscribe to it. Goodbye for now.